The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe, from his complete books The Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as if someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. Distinctly I remember, it was in a bleak December, and each separating dying ember rots his ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished tomorrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book success of sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here, forevermore. And the silken satin certain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to the still beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door." This it is, and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating them no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there, and nothing more." Deep into the darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there was spoken was the whispered word Lenore. This I whispered, and an echo murmured back the word Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber, turning, all my soul within me burning, soon again I heard a tapping, something louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then, what the threat is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped the stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but, with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this a bony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, to thy crest, by shorn and shaven, "Thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly, grim and ancient raving, wandering from the nightly shore? Tell me what thy lordly name is, on the night's plutonium shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly. Through this answer little meaning, little relevance bore, though we cannot help agreeing that no living human being enter yet was blessed with seeing birds above his chamber door, bird or beast upon this sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on that placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than the uttered, not a feather that he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, "Other friends had flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hope have flown before." Then the bird said, "Nevermore." Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, "Doubtless," said I, "what it utters is the only stock and store, cut from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs on boarding bore. till the dirks of his hope that melancholy burden bore. Oh, never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking fancy up to fancy, thinking what this omnious bird of yore, what's this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt and omnious bird of yore, meant in croaking, nevermore. This I said engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burden unto my bosom's core. This and more I said divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushioned velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er she shall press, nevermore. Then mid-out the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfall tingled on the tufted floor. "Wretch!" I cried, "thy God had lent thee, by these angels he had sent thee, respite, respite and nepenthe from the memories of Lenore. Quiff, oh quaff, this quaint nepenthe, and forgot this lost Lenore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." "Prophet," said I, "thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whatever tempter sent, or whatever tempters tossed thee, here azure, desolate, yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm of Gilead? Tell me, I implore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." "Prophet," said I, "thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden if, within the distance Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels named Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels named Amor." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Beat that word or sign or parting, bird or fiend, I shrieked, upstarting, get thee back into the tempest and the night's plutonium shore, leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul had spoken, leave me loneliness unbroken, quit the bust above my door, take thy beak from out my heart, and take my form from off my door. Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him strange throws his shadows on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.